Jamaican. Here comes the rude boy Jamaican.
Okay guys, let's go over all your ingredients and all the things where you're gonna need to make this Jamaican meatloaf patty. Alright, let's go over the meat first that I'm going to use. Now this is ground turkey, okay? If you want, you could use grounded beef, you could use ground pork, you could use ground chicken, your choice of meat, whatever you want to use to make a meatloaf patty. I'm using all natural grounded turkey in mine, okay? But like I said, use whatever that you choose to use. Alright, now what I'm going to put into the patty mixture is 1 large chopped onion. Make sure you chop it really nice and thin. And I'm going to also add some sweet red pepper, and I'm also going to add some green one sweet as well, and make sure you chop them up real nice and small. Now you're also going to need 1 tablespoon of flour. If you don't have flour, you could use cornstarch, but make sure you have 1 tablespoon of that. So what I'm going to use to spice it up a notch is half a teaspoon of salt, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and also I'm going to add my combo seasoning, and that is 1 teaspoon of combo seasoning. Now if you don't have the Jamaican combo seasoning, you could use all-purpose seasoning. The only thing you're going to have to add extra is a black pepper. I'm not going to add black pepper to mine because that combo seasoning has garlic in it, black pepper, everything that I need. So I don't have to use no garlic or nothing, because that combo of everything I'm going to need my meat turn up a notch. Now, as you guys know, I never cook any meat without vinegar. Okay, so I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of vinegar to that dish. Now let's talk about the dough and the things that you are going to need to make the dough. I have in here all-purpose flour. Do not use self-rising flour, use all-purpose flour. Now 3 cups are in here. What I'm going to need is half a cup of brown sugar, that's right there. I'm also going to add 1 tablespoon of yeast, 1 stick of butter, half teaspoon of salt, and a cup and a half of milk. The milk that I'm using is the coconut almond milk, but you can use whatever kind of milk that you choose to use. If you don't want to use milk, go ahead and use water. But if you want your dough for ton up load like my one, grab yourself some milk. Let's get started. Okay guys, the first thing you want to do is go ahead and put your oil in your pot. Alright, so you can use how much oil you want to use in yours, but I think I have about 4 ounces of oil in the pot. And then you want to go ahead and add your onions and sweet peppers to it. Just want to let this fry up for a little bit and just let the onions caramelize. Nice golden brown we're looking for. Okay, so now that my season been cooking for about 4 to 5 minutes, that's exactly how I want it to be. I'm going to add my meat in. Now we want to go ahead and spice that thing up, because you want it to have flavor, you know. Tons and tons of flavor. So you had your seasoning, and then you had 1 teaspoon of vinegar. You just work the meat in until everything comes nice and smooth. You don't want it to be chunky. So that looks pretty good. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to go ahead and add my flour to that. And if you don't have flour, you put cornstarch. That's 1 tablespoon of flour. And you work that in too. Okay guys, make sure that your fire is on medium heat. And I'm going to cover this up. And this is going to be done in about 15 minutes. Okay, so that is what that should look like when you get done with that step. So cover it up and give it 15 minutes and then you shut the heat off. Okay guys, we are moving to the next step. I have my 3 cups of all-purpose flour here. And the first thing I'm going to do is add my stick of butter, and that is 1 stick of hard butter. Okay. Then I'm going to add a half a teaspoon of salt, half a cup of sugar, 1 tablespoon of dried yeast. Now guys, you want to make sure that your hands are clean when you're doing this. So you don't need no rings on the finger, and make sure the hand them wash thoroughly. So you want to go ahead and take your fingers and crush up that butter into the flour. Now the next thing you want to do is go ahead and add your milk. So you put a half of the milk first, and you just work it into the flour. And then you have the other half. And work that in. So this should be the texture of your flour, right? That is exactly how I want it to be. If you have your flour hard, that means you're doing something wrong. It should be just like that. Just like this. So now I'm going to move on to the next step. Now you want to get your flour and just place it on the board like that, and just take the dough out on the clean surface. You just want to work it in with your fingers. Grab you some more flour. Okay, so your dough is ready. So that's exactly how you want your dough to be looking. Just like that. When it's not sticking to your hands, that's when you know you are ready. So we are moving on to the next step. Now guys, for this step, you are going to get a clean container, and you're going to put some oil into the container. Cooking oil, butter, any kind of oil. And just rub it around the container like this. Alright, so that is all we're doing there. Then you want to put your dough in there like that. Just kind of move it around a little bit so it could get that oil. Just like that. Just put it down in the container like that. Then you are going to get your plastic wrap, cover over it like that, and just wrap it like that, and get a towel and just cover over it like that. Put it in a nice warm place in your kitchen, and just make it sit for about 45 minutes to 1 hour, and then it should be ready. So we'll be back in 45 minutes to 1 hour. Okay guys, we're moving on to the next step, and the dough has been sitting for about 45 minutes to an hour. So the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to get some flour, and I'm just going to sprinkle it on my board here. And then I'm gonna put the dough out, sprinkle some more flour on top, and all I'm going to do is just pat into it. You don't need this thing anymore, now you just pat into it. This dough is very nice and soft. You don't want your dough to be hard. See, I could push my finger through it, and you could see how it is. When you stretch it, that's how you want your dough to be. You don't want the dough to be tough, or else your thing will come out flan, right? So this is perfect. Some more flour up on the side there, and you roll it out. Nice and smooth. That's how you want your dough to be. Nice and smooth. then I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to work with this piece, so we'll put those away. Okay guys, so now you have your dough on the countertop. You just want to go ahead and sprinkle some flour on both sides. Just like that. Just to make sure that it don't stick, right? You want to make sure that it's moving. So you want it to be just like that. You don't press into the dough. You just smooth it out gently. Don't make it flat. You want to make it fluffy. Nice and thick. Okay, so that is what I want my circle to be like, right? Because it's that you want it to be like a bread inside. So that is how you want it to be. You don't want it to be flat. Then you get your filling. You put it right in the middle right there. And you fold it over. Just like that. So that's how you want it to look when you fold it. See, it's still moving. That's because you flour your surface. So you get your fork and you press down. Just like. And then you just want to go in and get your fork and just make ear pockets for it. Then on top you get some melted butter and you just want to tap that melted butter on. And that is what you want it to look like. I'm going to go ahead and make up the other and come back. Okay guys, so that's what it looks like. And your oven should be on 325. And this is going to take a full 20 to 25 minutes to bake at 325. So I will see you back. Here you go guys. My meatloaf patties are all done and they are perfect. Nice and golden brown on top. And you can see it's nice and soft. Just the way you want to have it. I'm going to break into one of them and let you guys see what it looks like on the inside as well. See how that is, guys? It is so good. Nice and crispy. Golden brown on the back. Juicy on the inside. Nice and soft on the outside. So good. Guys. Okay, guys. So, there goes my recipe. Jamaican meatloaf patty in your kitchen. Don't forget to like, share, thumbs up, subscribe. Let me know what you'd like to see me cooking next in my kitchen. And as always, from my kitchen to your kitchen, enjoy!